Go ahead, Karen, ban the cameras. The city already has copies. The morning she tried to outlaw my security cameras, she was smiling like she had already won. She stood on my lawn in heels too sharp for grass, waving a printed notice and talking loudly so the neighbors could hear. According to her, cameras were hostile surveillance and made the neighborhood feel unsafe. What she really meant was she hated being recorded. Last month, packages disappeared, cars got scratched, someone kept moving trash bins at night. The cameras changed that. And Karen hated that even more. If you love powerful stories, you don't want to miss this. But before we continue, tell us where you are watching from. It makes us happy to see how far our stories travel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I nodded politely while she read her fake emergency HOA amendment, mispronouncing half the legal terms. When she finished, I asked one question very sweetly. Karen, did you file this with the city compliance office? Her smile twitched. Behind her, Mr. Alvarez nearly choked on his coffee. Mrs. Singh slowly pulled out her phone. Karen said the HOA didn't need city approval. I said, "Oh, good," and handed her a printed email. From the city, dated yesterday, denying her request. Silence fell so hard you could hear wind through mailbox slots. Karen grabbed the paper, laughing too loudly, saying it was fake. Then my doorbell camera announced, "Motion detected, recording uploaded to City Cloud Archive." Karen laughed like someone who didn't realize the joke was on her. She waved the city email in the air like it was meaningless, then switched tactics fast. "Fine," she said, voice sharp. "Then we'll fine you daily for violating community harmony guidelines." Community harmony. The phrase sounded like it came from a scented candle label. I tilted my head. "Karen, you added that rule last week." "Yes," she said quickly. Emergency authority. Behind her, neighbors were no longer pretending to garden. Phones were fully out now. Even Mr. Jensen, who hated drama, stood frozen with his sprinkler pointed at his own shoes. I nodded slowly, like I was learning something fascinating. "Great," I said. "Then you probably filed the emergency authority declaration too?" Her lips parted. Closed. Parted again. I reached into my mailbox and pulled out a thick envelope, because the city sent me this morning. Inside were three things: a notice rejecting her emergency powers claim, a reminder that surveillance for personal property protection was fully legal, and a warning that HOAs attempting unlawful enforcement could face penalties. Karen's confidence cracked just a little. Then she tried one last move. "Even if cameras are legal, you can't record HOA officials." That's when Mrs. Singh spoke from her driveway. "Public sidewalks are public, Karen." Soft laughter rippled across the street. Karen turned red. Not embarrassed red, furious red. She leaned closer to me and whispered, "You think you're smart." I smiled, gentle and calm. "No," I said. "I think I read page 47. Karen blinked. "What is page 47? I almost felt bad. Almost. "Appendix C," I said softly. "The part nobody reads. The part about liability when HOA actions cause residents financial or legal harm." The wind picked up, carrying the smell of fresh-cut grass and someone's barbecue starting early. It felt weirdly peaceful for the moment someone's power was quietly collapsing. Karen scoffed, but her voice was thinner now. "That doesn't apply to this." I opened my phone and turned the screen toward her. "It does when threats are documented." Her eyes flicked to the street. Every single neighbor was watching now. Mr. Alvarez lifted his cup like he was toasting me. Mrs. Singh gave me a tiny thumbs up. Even Karen's own board treasurer was standing near the mailbox, looking like he wanted to disappear into it. Then my phone chimed. "City Compliance Portal, case status updated." I opened it slowly, like unwrapping a gift. Karen tried to laugh again. "You reported the HOA? That'll go nowhere." I didn't answer. I just turned the screen so she could see. Investigation open, priority review. Below that, notice sent to HOA President Karen Mitchell. For the first time, Karen looked small, not physically, just smaller. She stepped back, heels sinking slightly into my lawn. I kept my voice warm, friendly. "You tried to ban cameras," I said gently. "The city just turned theirs on." Karen opened her mouth. Nothing came out, and for the first time, the neighborhood wasn't scared of Karen. Karen was scared of paper trails. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The investigation moved faster than anyone expected. Not dramatic, not loud, just official. Within 2 weeks, city compliance officers requested HOA financial records, enforcement logs, and meeting transcripts. Turns out Karen had been issuing emergency fines without board votes, without filings, and without legal authority. Neighbors started checking their mailboxes differently. Quiet hope replaced quiet fear. Then came the special HOA meeting. Karen walked in like nothing was wrong. Perfect hair, perfect blazer, perfect smile. But the room felt different, colder, formal. The city liaison sat in the front row. Karen started her usual speech about community standards and protecting property values. Then the liaison politely asked her to stop and handed her a folder. You could hear paper sliding, violation notices, financial mismanagement warnings, personal liability review. Karen's hands trembled just slightly. Then the board treasurer cleared his throat and announced an emergency vote. Not against cameras, against Karen. It passed unanimously. No shouting, no chaos, just quiet consequences. 3 months later, the HOA bylaws were rewritten. Transparent enforcement, public records access, and clear resident rights protections. My cameras stayed exactly where they were. Sometimes now, neighbors wave at them on purpose. Last week, a package delivery driver smiled and said, "Nicest street on my route." I smiled back because safety wasn't fear anymore, it was accountability. And Karen, last I heard, she moved somewhere with no HOA, just city rules and lots of cameras. Please like, comment, and subscribe.